The evidence indicates that the plane was shot down by an Iranian surface-to-air missile.
Justin Trudeau announcing shocking new details in an already heartbreaking tragedy. The Prime Minister telling the country intelligence suggests Flight 752 was likely brought down by an Iranian missile, killing all 176 people on board. Good morning, I'm Travis Danraj. Iranian officials are denying responsibility for downing the plane. Redmond Shannon joins us from London with the very latest. Redmond, good morning to you. Have we learned anything more about this alleged missile strike and intelligence backing it up?
Well, Travis, we have no evidence provided by government, only assertions from government and other governments that this evidence suggests that a missile took down this aircraft. Today, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison joined the list of Western leaders, the members of the Five Eyes Alliance, that's Britain, the US, New Zealand and Australia, along with Canada, in saying that evidence suggests that the flight was shot down by two missiles. So we don't have any direct evidence. We just have the word of the Prime Minister right now. As Justin Trudeau said yesterday, he wasn't in a position, he said, to provide that evidence. US broadcaster CBS said US intelligence sources say that satellites show so-called blips around the time, exactly at the time of this crash, of two blips indicating missiles being launched in the area. And of course, there is the video that was published by the New York Times and investigative website Bellingcat, which is a cell phone video taken from the ground in Tehran, which appears to show what could be a missile in the sky and then an explosion and then what could have been the ball of flame and on that aircraft as it hurtled toward the ground. Those websites and the New York Times say all the evidence stacks up, and what they can see from that video that it appears to show something hit an aircraft in the sky at that exact moment. Meanwhile, the head of Iran's Civil Aviation Authority says no, there were no missiles were fired, and this is all wrong. He says, again repeating Iran's line, that simply there was a fire on the aircraft as it hit the ground, and he says a full investigation is needed in order to find out why there was a fire on the aircraft.
And Redmond, let's talk about that investigation, because we know now that some representatives from Boeing, the manufacturer of the plane, will be allowed to get boots on the ground. What about Canadian officials? Will they be allowed to be involved with this investigation?
So yes, officials from Canada, from the TSB, are invited to and will be going to Tehran in order to coordinate with Iranian authorities who are in charge of this investigation. The big question, Travis, is how much involvement will Canadian and other foreign authorities have in this investigation? Will they simply be some sort of observers, as is the minimum requirement, or will they be allowed full access to the evidence? And one problem with this is now the evidence showing, and as a CBS reporter on the ground there tweeting out a photo this morning showing and saying that the evidence has been removed from the crash site, and this is very reminiscent of flight MH17 over Ukraine 6 years ago, when evidence was removed, making a forensic investigation and an independent investigation much more difficult. And of course, it raises suspicions that Iran perhaps has something to hide.
All right, Redmond Shannon, your correspondent live from our London bureau. Thanks, Redmond.